Sure. Thanks, Dustin. Happy and proud of this team for them to get back on the winning track after a long, hard camp where I really think these guys worked their tails off. Obviously, with that said, we still didn't play our best. The things we can correct, and you always see your biggest strides usually between game one and game two, and so the things that need to get corrected, I expect us to get them corrected, and that's the penalties, that's the sideline organization things, which are very atypical of as many new people we have involved in our program. So I'm looking forward to getting that corrected, especially here with a short week. Played a ton of young, impactful players, and I've been talking about the freshmen all camp for a long, long time, the Sidney Stewarts, the Zaire Mathises, the Malik Washingtons, and as I've said, they've played as advertised, and they'll only get better. Our defense, some of the things that affected us a year ago in terms of being able to get our hands on turnovers and the defensive backs contesting catches, and I thought they played really well to be able to force 6 turnovers in the first game. But now it's back to work as quickly as we can get there. This will be a short-lived celebration for us with a short week in Northern Illinois coming in here on Friday night to the Shell. And I know our team's excited to be able to get the things corrected, get back on the field this week, and put together a game plan to find a way to take care of business next Friday night. With that, I'll open up the questions.
Mike, 2 of the biggest plays in the first half came for your defense, the safety, also the pick 6. How comforting is it to know that this is what your defense can do in key stretches like that, and what were the seeds of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see our defense play that way, but, during camp, these are things that were a byproduct of what they did during training camp. And, as I said, to see Sid make the play he did there on the safety, and Daniel Wingate's been one of our biggest leaders and playmakers on the defensive side of the ball to get the pick 6 to kind of get us going. We started a little slow on offense, but it was great for our defense to be able to make a few plays to kind of jumpstart us. And once we got Malik settled down, I think we all are starting to see the making of what could be a very good quarterback here.
Mike, can you take us through the decision that ultimately led to Malik being named the starter, and then how do you feel he responded, especially after starting 3 for 11 passing today?
Yeah, as I always said with this quarterback battle, it's always who gives us the best opportunity to win, who gives us the best opportunity to score points. Malik did that. It was a comfort level we had, the maturity level he showed. And that's not to say that those other 2 guys didn't play and compete, because we feel like, as I've said before, and this is not coach speak, that we can win with all 3 of those guys. But we felt Malik gave us the best chance, and it's a calmness about him, the demeanor that you see as a few. He's a little older than his years, maybe the way he's handled this thing. And the best part about it, he's only going to get better. I can't hear you.
You want to talk about Locksley, or Malik's poise there, his maturity. I guess I just wanted to ask you, he started off 1 for 8 and then responded, went 10 for his next 12, I think it was. How much did that encourage you just to kind of see him settle into the game and really perform well at the end of the first half and into the second?
Yeah, I think I said that, I didn't like the way we started on offense, and, to go 1 of 8 is not just a byproduct of a quarterback. It's the system, and, we started a little slow. The key to us was to be able to get the ball, run the ball a little bit to take some pressure off of a young quarterback. But once we kind of got going, our defense kind of jump-started us, and he was able to get a few completions. I think we started to see the type of player he is. The fact that he missed some work during training camp, he's maybe just starting to maybe get into the rhythm of what it's going to be like, and it's our job to get him there quickly.
Last year, the receiver group was a bit top-heavy. Ty Felton and Caden Prather had a lot of the run. Today was 7 players had multiple catches, and that wasn't a product of garbage time at all. Is that a point of emphasis this year to spread the ball around more, or is that just how things panned out today?
No, I think it's a byproduct of the way we've recruited. We've brought in some talented players. The goal as an offensive play caller for Pep is to find ways to utilize those pieces and get them the opportunities. And, when you got guys like Dorian Fleming and Jaleel Farouk and Octavian Smith Jr., and then you throw in some of the younger receivers. Caden came in, Webb, and did a great job. Punch made a touchdown, and he's been around here a long time. It was great to see Punch get off and get a touchdown catch there. I think that group will just continue to get better, but the key to us is the more diverse we are on offense, the harder it is to defend and take people out of the game.
Coach Locksley, hi. I know earlier in the week you told us that this game wasn't going to be about the opponent, but about what you were going to learn about your team. I know it's only been one game, but what did you learn about your team today in particular?
I think it shows that we've got talent. The players that we've talked about and these high school kids that we've thrown, I mean, I have pretty much 4 freshmen, true freshmen starting for you, and 64 players that have never played here. And when you look at some of the negative things that came out of the game, I can tell you it's a byproduct of us starting to learn each other and being able to do it with referees and fans, and those are the things that as a head coach, I got to get those things corrected, the sideline organization, the penalties. We'll get those things fixed, but to see the young players that we brought in to do the things that I think they kind of started to show today has been really encouraging for us, and we've got to build on it.
Hey, Mike.
George.
In between quarters, seems like a switch flips. Is there anything you're saying to the guys, or did you see guys kind of rallying around like, hey, we need to get this turned around and fixed?
It's our first game, George, and I hate it. I mean, to have 6 penalties in the first drive on defense, and a couple of them were competitive penalties, which I've said around here I can deal with competitive penalties. But it's just the byproduct of a new team, 65 guys that hadn't played here, 6 new coaches that haven't coached here, and these are the things that we get, the kinks that will get worked out, and that's why when I say you typically get better from game 1 to game 2, it's my first opportunity to make some of these corrections that I'm going to have to make, whether it's with the staff and getting the right guys on the field, but also making sure that guys that don't play real smart, they won't play, and we'll get it fixed that way.
Coach, right here. You mentioned Pep coming in. Over here, Coach. You mentioned Pep coming in, bringing in his NFL experience to make more of a hybrid or NFL-styled offense. What do you think the response like that was for Malik in the offense, being under center more for the first time in live game action with Pep's influence?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime that, you bring in a new coordinator, they bring in things that we don't have, and anyone that knows Pep knows that he has an acumen in running the football, and I think we'll only get better with it. We're still kind of in that embryo stage with 5 new guys up front, 1 returning starter, and Hershey that group will get better, and that's why we brought Pep in and Hal and some of the new coaches that have really done a great job of organizing things, but now we've got to get the details cleaned up, and the best part is we get to get it cleaned up from a game with a win, and I got to emphasize, and I'm not going to let y'all send me down a rabbit hole of being negative. We got to win today, and we haven't won around here in a long time, so I'm going to take the win and enjoy it for about 12 hours and get ready for Northern Illinois.
Hey, Coach. Jake Cutter, the Diamondback. You mentioned Zahir Mathis, Sidney Stewart. Can you just talk about, as a whole, how impressive it was to see the young guys on that side of the ball make an impact so immediately for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we threw them from the yellow school bus right into the big league, and they responded the right way, and those 2 guys are made of the right stuff. But then you take and look at number 40 and 56 come in, and they're both kind of like, I know 40's a true freshman, 56 a transfer that's a redshirt freshman, didn't play a lot. To add the depth that we've added as pass rushers and playmakers on the defensive side of the ball, it was a point of emphasis for us to see them play well and still have room to learn and grow is encouraging for me, and is encouraging for us on the defensive side of the ball.
Coach Charles Young, was college football. Talk about Daniel Woodgate. You named him captain beginning for this game here. Talk about him having 10 tackles and flying over the field. How impressive was he today?
Daniel Wingate's a warrior, and we're very fortunate to have that guy around here. I hate comparisons, but I was around here for a guy that wore number 42 and played heavy-handed and physical, and E.J. Henderson, one of our most decorated players, and I would say he is in that category because his leadership, he plays tough, he plays hard, he plays smart. He has a positive impact on our team in all 3 phases. He's running down covering kicks as a starter. We're really fortunate to have Daniel as a true junior. I think he's only going to get better, and like I said, I'm looking forward to him having a big year for us.
Coach Locksley, just today, watching the defense play, 2.7 yards of carry on the rushing attempts and 4.5 for the passing game for FAU. Just talk about your defensive line, their impact early in the game, how they altered the game after that 7-7 tie.
Yeah, I mean, again, those interior guys, Cam, number 10 in the middle, I know Dylan Fontes, 46, 98, Ian Thomas. You know, those are the guys that are the workhorses, and the edge guys get a lot of the credit because they make the plays, but we did a really good job of pushing the pocket back down their throats where the run had the bounce, and then we did a really good job of tackling. I think, you know, I got to give Kerm Hughes a lot of credit. He has 2 big 4th down stops on balls where the guy catches it and he makes contact and runs his feet. And to see Kerm play the way he played, I was really, really impressed with him. But the front 7 of our defense is a strength of ours, and I really like the way those guys are coming together.
Hi, Dee here. Coach, congratulations on the win today.
Thanks, Dee. Appreciate it. First one to tell me that.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm happy for you. I also want to know, because you guys had that lead and you were able to put some guys in that maybe not have started, you know, how do you make that transition throughout the game?
Well, those things happen before the game. You know, we have a big staff meeting in the morning, and it's where I get to tell the guys how I want to see us play, and we play the if-then and have an idea of going into it, and if we're able to play some young guys how I want to see them played. We knew that if we had an opportunity to play a second quarterback, that we play both those guys because they both have earned the right to play. And really, like I said, we want to develop all those guys because it's a long year. The Big Ten's a tough league, and we will need the depth, especially because we're not as deep as we've been in the past. So we've got to find opportunities to develop the younger players when we can. Maybe not as much as we've done in the past, but today was a good day for us to win, develop some young players, and for the most part, get out healthy. Thanks, guys.